Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Krishna Chaitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on December 29th, 2021 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Pangon Langayate Girim Sri Gurum Dhinatarinam Sri Chaitanya Misharam.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we're reading from the compilation of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book, and today's entire chapter is entitled as Narada tells Mrigari to kill animals completely and not leave them half dead, under the section, the 61 explanations of the Atmarama verse. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, text 227.
নির্গন্ত শব্দের অর্থ নির্গন্থ শব্দে কহে তবে বেদ নির্ধন সাধু সঙ্গে সেই করে শ্রীকৃষ্ণ ভজন.
The word nirgrantha, when combined with api, used in the sense of certainty, indicates a person who is a hunter by profession or who is very poor. Nonetheless, when such a person associates with a great saint like Narada, he engages in Lord Krishna's devotional service.
How Narada, the hunter, is described here by Lord Chaitanya.
How Narad delivered the hunter is described here by Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 228.
সাধুসঙ্গ ফলে বেদের পাপ নিবৃত্তি ও কৃষ্ণগত চিত্ততা বা মহাভাগবত তত্ত্ব. কৃষ্ণ রামস্যৈব কৃষ্ণ মনন বেদ হইয়া হয় পূজ্য ভাগবত উত্তম.
The words Krishna Ramas Cha refer to one who takes pleasure in thinking of Krishna. Even though such a person may be a hunter, he is still worshipable and is the best of devotees.
Anyone who thinks of Krishna
Anyone who thinks of Krishna
is certainly auspicious, the best of the devotees.
is certainly auspicious and best of the devotees.
As long as he thinks of Krishna favorably.
As long as he thinks of Krishna favorably. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 229.
স্কন্দ পুরাণোক্ত বেদ নারদ সংবাদ বর্ণন. এক ভক্ত বেদের কথা শুন সাবধানে যা হইতে হয় সৎসঙ্গ মহিমার জ্ঞানে.
I shall now narrate the story of how a hunter became a great devotee by the association of such an exalted personality as Narada Muni. From this story, one can understand the greatness of association with a pure devotee.
The Krishna glorifies associating with a pure devotee as the highest benefit.
The scriptures glorify association with pure devotees as the highest benefit. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 230.
একদিন শ্রীনারদ দেখি নারায়ণ ত্রিবেণী শানে প্রয়াগ করিলা আগমন.
Once upon a time, the great saint Narada, after visiting Lord Narayana in the Vaikunthas, went to Prayag to bathe at the confluence of the three rivers, the Ganges, Yamuna, and Saraswati. Purport. The great saint Narada is so liberated that he can go to the Vaikuntha planets to see Narayana and then immediately come to this planet in the material world and go to Prayag to bathe in the confluence of 3 rivers. The word Triveni refers to a confluence of 3 rivers. This confluence is still visited by many hundreds of thousands of people who go there to bathe, especially during the Magh Mela, which occurs during the month of January. A liberated person who has no material body can go anywhere and everywhere. Therefore, a living entity is called Sarvaga, which indicates that he can go anywhere and everywhere. Presently, scientists are trying to go to other planets, but due to their material bodies, they are not free to move at will. However, when one is situated in his original spiritual body, he can move anywhere and everywhere without difficulty. Within this material world, there is a planet called Siddhaloka, whose inhabitants can go from one planet. It is said that everything in the spiritual world is one.
A liberated soul being fully spiritual can go anywhere in the spiritual or material universe.
A liberated soul, being spiritual, can go anywhere in the material or spiritual worlds.
Not only into the spiritual world and saw Lord Narayana,
Narada Muni went to the spiritual world and saw Narayana.
and he entered into this universe on his planet, and he bathed in the confluence of the 3 rivers.
And then entered into this universe, this planet, and bathed in the confluence of the 3 rivers.
Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati.
Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati.
Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, to the Ardha Kumbh Mela in 1971.
Srila Prabhupada went to the Ardha Kumbh Mela in 1971,
which had 21 million people.
which had 21 million people.
And again in 1977,
Then went again in 1977.
there were 30 million people.
There were 30 million people. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 231.
বনপথে দেখে মৃগ আছে ভূমে পড়ি বান বিদ্ধ ভগ্ন পান করে ধর পড়ি
Narada Muni saw that a deer was lying on the path through the forest and that it was pierced by an arrow. It had broken legs and was twisting due to much pain. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 232.
আর কত দূরে দেখেন শুকর কইছে বিদ্ধ ভগ্ন পান করে ধর পর
Farther ahead, Narada Muni saw a boar pierced by an arrow. Its legs were also broken, and it was twisting in pain. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 233.
কইছে শশক দেখে আর কত দূরে জীবের দুঃখ দেখি নারদ ব্যাকুল অন্তরে
When he went further, he saw a rabbit that was also suffering. Narada Muni was greatly pained at heart to see living entities suffer so.
And the devotee is sad to see suffering of others,
The pure devotee is sad to see suffering of others.
or dukkha dukhi,
Para dukha dukhi.
and therefore not Muni, he was merciful. He could not tolerate the suffering of these living entities.
Therefore, Narada Muni, he could not tolerate the suffering of these living entities,
He,
being
the
merciful.
pure devotee, a sadhu, is also merciful on the animals.
A pure devotee, a sadhu, he is also merciful towards the animals. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 234.
দূরে দেখে বের বৃক্ষে হইয়া মৃগ মারিবারে আছে বান জুড়িয়া।
When Narada Muni advanced farther, he saw a hunter behind a tree. This hunter was holding arrows and he was ready to kill more animals. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text.
শ্যামবর্ণ রক্তনেত্র মহাভয়ঙ্কর ধনুর্বাণ হস্তে যেন যম দণ্ডধর।
The hunter's body was blackish, he had reddish eyes, and he appeared fierce. It was as if the superintendent of death, Yamaraj, were standing there with a bow and arrows in his hands. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 236.
পথছাড়ি নারদ তার নিকটে চলিল নারদে দেখি মৃগ সব পালাইয়া গেল।
When Narada Muni left the forest path and went to the hunter, all the animals immediately saw him and fled. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 237.
ক্রুদ্ধ হইয়া ব্যাতারে গালি দিতে চায় নারদ প্রভাবে মুখে গালি নাই আয়।
When all the animals fled, the hunter wanted to chastise Narada with abusive language, but due to Narada's presence, he could not utter anything abusive.
So, presence of Narada Muni is so auspicious that the hunter not see anything abusive or critical.
So the presence of Narad was so auspicious that the hunter could not speak anything abusive or critical. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 238.
প্রয়াণ পথ ছাড়ি কেনে আইলা তোমা দেখি মোর লক্ষ্য মৃগ পলাইলা।
The hunter addressed Narada Muni, O Goswami, O great saintly person, why have you left the general path through the forest to come to me? Simply by seeing you, all the animals I was hunting have now fled.
The hunter was frustrated because the animals he was hunting got away.
The hunter was frustrated because the animals he was hunting fled away. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 239.
নারদ কহে পদ ভুলি আইলা পুছিতে মনে এক সংশয় হয় তাহা খণ্ডাইতে।
Narada Muni replied, leaving the path, I have come to you to settle a doubt that is in my mind. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 240.
পথে যে শুকর মৃগ জানি তোমার হয় ব্যাত কহে যেই কহ সেই তো নিশ্চয়।
I was wondering whether all the boars and other animals that are half killed belong to you. Purport. The hunter replied, yes, what you are saying is so. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 241.
নারদ কহে যদি জীবে মারো তুমি গান অর্ধ মারা করো কেনে নালো পরাণ।
Narada Muni then inquired, why did you not kill the animals completely? Why did you half kill them by piercing their bodies with arrows?
Not only was asking that you're going to kill animals and not kill them completely, why half kill them?
Narada Muni was asking, if you're going to kill animals, why not kill them completely? Why half kill them? Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 242.
বেদ কহে শুনো গোসাই মৃগারি মোর নাম পিতার শিক্ষাতে আমি করি হইছে কাম
The hunter replied, "My dear saintly person, my name is Mrigari, enemy of animals. My father taught me to kill them in that way." Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 243.
অর্ধমারা জীব যদি ধরপর করে তবে তো আনন্দ মোর বারয়ে অন্তরে
When I see half-killed animals suffer, I feel great pleasure.
Joy the hunter has a perverted sense of pleasure.
Mrigari the hunter had a perverted sense of pleasure.
He liked to see the suffering of others.
He liked to see the suffering of others. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 244.
নারদ কহে এক বস্তু মাগি তোমার স্থানে ব্যাত কহে মৃগাদি লও যেই তোমার মনে
Narada Muni then told the hunter, "I have one thing to beg of you." Purport. The hunter replied, "You may take whatever animals or anything else you would like."
Majority of the hunter thought that not I want some of his animals.
So Mrigari the hunter thought that Narad would want some of his animals. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 245.
মৃগ ছাল চাহ যদি আইস মোর ঘরে যেই চাহ তাহা দিব মৃগ ব্যাঘ্রম ভরে
I have many skins. If you would like them, I shall give you either a deer skin or a tiger skin.
The guy invited not come to my house and many skins.
Mrigari invited Narada, "Come to my house, I have many skins."
And you can have anyone,
You can have
deer or tiger.
You can have anyone, deer or tiger. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 246.
নারদ কয়ে ইহা আমি কিছু নাহি চাই আর এক বস্তু আমি মাগি তোমার ঠাই
Narada Muni said, "I do not want any of the skins. I'm asking only one thing from you in charity."
What will not ask in charity of the hunter?
What will Narad ask in charity from the hunter? Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 247.
কালি হইতে তুমি যে মৃগাদি মারিবা প্রথমে মারিবা অর্ধ মারা না করিবা
I beg you that from this day on, you will kill animals completely and not leave them half dead.
Not only was feeling compassion for the animals,
Narada Muni was feeling compassion for the animals,
so he begged this of the hunter.
so he begged this of the hunter. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 248.
বেদ কহে কিবা দান মাগিলা মারে অর্ধ মারিলে কিবা হয় তাহা কহ মরে
The hunter replied, "My dear sir, what are you asking of me? What is wrong with the animals lying there half killed? Will you please explain this to me?"
The hunter could not understand why Narad Muni was asking of this thing.
The hunter could not understand why Narad Muni was asking him of this thing. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 240.
নারদ কহে অর্ধ মারিলে জীব পায় ব্যথা জীবে দুঃখ দিতেছ তোমার হইবে ওইছে অবস্থা
Narada Muni replied, "If you leave the animals half dead, you are purposefully giving them pain. Therefore, you will have to suffer in retaliation." Purport. This is an authoritative statement given by the greatest authority Narada Muni. If one gives another living entity unnecessary pain, one will certainly be punished by the laws of nature with a similar pain. Although the hunter Mrigari was uncivilized, he still had to suffer the results of his sinful activities. However, if a civilized man killed animals regularly in a slaughterhouses to maintain his so-called civilization, using scientific methods and machines to kill animals, one cannot even estimate the suffering awaiting him. So-called civilized people consider themselves very advanced in education, but they do not know about the stringent laws of nature. According to the nature's law, it is a life for a life. We can hardly imagine the suffering of one who maintains a slaughterhouse. He endures suffering not only in this life, but in his next life also. It is said that a hunter, murderer, or killer is advised not to live and not to die. If he lives, he accumulates even more sins, which brings about more suffering in a future life. If he is advised not to die because his dying means that he immediately begins to endure more suffering. Therefore, he is advised not to live and not to die. As followers of the Vedic principles, we accept the statements of Narada Muni in this regard. It is our duty to see that no one suffers due to sinful activities. Foolish rascals are described in the Bhagavad Gita as Mayaya Pahrita Jnana, which indicates that although they are superficially educated, Maya has taken their real knowledge away. Such people are presently leading human society. In Srimad Bhagavatam, they are described as Anda Yatandir Upaniyamanaha. These rascals are themselves blind, and yet they are leading others who are blind. When people follow such leaders, they suffer unlimited pains in the future. Despite so-called advancement, all this is happening. Who is safe? Who is happy? Who is without anxiety?
At the present time, we're suffering a worldwide pandemic.
At the present time, we're suffering the worldwide pandemic.
This is mainly due, somewhat to the suffering by causing animals in slaughterhouses.
This is somewhat due to slaughtering animals in slaughterhouses.
So, some of our sinful acts by killing the animals are suffering in this life and the next.
Because of our sinful activities, we are suffering in this life and the next.
To the devotees, although they believe in law of karma, they don't want people to suffer for their bad karma.
Pure devotees, although they believe in the law of karma, they don't want people to suffer for their karma.
For bad karma.
For their bad karma.
And therefore they guide the people to live a life without sin, without bad karma.
Therefore they try to lead the people to live a life without sin, without bad karma. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 250.
দেখ তুমি জীব মারো অল্প অপরাধ তোমার কদর্থ না দিয়া মারো এ পা অপরাধ.
Narada Muni continued, My dear hunter, your business is killing animals. That is a slight offense on your part. But when you consciously give them unnecessary pain by leaving them half dead, you incur very great sins. Purport. This is another good instruction to animal killers. There are always animal killers and animal eaters in human society because less civilized people are accustomed to eating meat. In the Vedic civilization, meat eaters are advised to kill an animal for the goddess Kali or a similar demigod. This is in order not to give the animal unnecessary pain as slaughterhouses do. In the Bali Dana, sacrifice to a demigod, it is recommended to cut the throat of an animal with one slice. This should be done on a dark moon night, and the painful noises expressed by the animal at the time of being slaughtered are not to be heard by anyone. There are also many other restrictions. Slaughter is allowed only once a month, and the killer of the animal has to suffer similar pain in his next life. At the present moment, so-called civilized men do not sacrifice animals to a deity in a religious or ritualistic way. They openly kill animals daily by the thousands for no purpose other than the satisfaction of the tongue. Because of this, the entire world is suffering in so many ways. Politicians are unnecessarily declaring war, and according to the stringent laws of material nature, massacres are taking place between nations. Apite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha ahamkara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, think himself to be the doer of activities. The laws of Prakriti nature are very stringent. No one should think that he has the freedom to kill animals and not suffer the consequences. One cannot be safe by doing this. Narada Muni herein says that animal killing is offensive, especially when animals are given unnecessary pain. Meat eaters and animal killers are advised not to purchase meat from the slaughterhouse. They can worship Kali once a month, kill some unimportant animal, and eat it. Even by following this method, one is still an offender.
Words are meat and Sanskrit is mangsa.
The word for meat in Sanskrit is mangsa,
Which means me and you.
which means me and you.
I kill you, and then I'll get the reaction, you'll kill me.
I kill you and I'll get the reaction and you killed me.
So, well, since the hunter is basically an uncivilized person, and then
So since the hunter, he's basically an uncivilized person, so then
the offense is minimal.
the offense is minimal.
But if he half kills the animals, the offense is very great.
But if he half killed the animals, then the offense is great.
A person is civilized and has animals killed in a slaughterhouse.
If a person is civilized and has the animals killed in slaughterhouse,
And that he can satisfy his tongue by eating meat.
so that he can satisfy his tongue by eating meat,
And then he has to take great karma
then he has to take great karma
and suffer immensely.
and suffer immensely.
So the Krishna conscious devotees are trying to encourage people not to eat meat.
So the Krishna conscious devotees are trying to encourage people not to eat meat.
They have to eat meat, and they should offer meat and sacrificed.
If they have to eat meat, then they should offer the animal in sacrifice.
In that way, although they're still guilty, the offense would be minimized.
Although in that way, although they're still guilty, the offense would be minimized. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 251.
দর্থিয়া তুমি যত মারিলা জীবেরে তারা তৈছে তোমা মারিবে জন্ম জন্মান্তরে.
Narada Muni continued, all the animals that you have killed and given unnecessary pain will kill you one after the other in your next life, and in this life after life. Purport. This is another authoritative statement made by the great sage Narada. Those who kill animals and give them unnecessary pain, as people do in slaughterhouses, will be killed in a similar way in the next life and in many lives to come. One can never be excused from such an offense. If one kills many thousands of animals in a professional way so that other people can purchase the meat to eat, one must be ready to be killed in a similar way in his next life and in life after life. There are many rascals who violate their own religious principles. According to the Judeo-Christian scriptures, it is clearly said, "Thou shalt not kill." Nonetheless, giving all kinds of excuses, even the heads of religion indulge in killing animals while trying to pass as saintly persons. This mockery and hypocrisy in human society bring about unlimited calamities. Therefore, occasionally there are great wars. Masses of such people go out onto battlefields and kill themselves. Presently, they have discovered the atomic bomb, which is simply waiting to be used for wholesale destruction. If people want to be saved from the killing business life after life, they must take to Krishna consciousness and cease sinful activity. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness recommends that everyone abandon meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling. When one gives up these sinful activities, we can understand Krishna and take to this Krishna consciousness movement. We therefore request everyone to abandon sinful activity and chant the Hare Krishna mantra. In this way, people can save themselves from repeated birth and death and from being killed like the animals in the slaughterhouses.
According to the code of Manu, those who sell the animals, transport the animals,
According to the codes of Manu, those who sell the animals, transport the animals,
kill the animals,
kill the animals,
cook the meat,
cook the meat,
and serve the, and also eat the meat.
and those who eat the meat,
They're all
serve the meat.
responsible,
They are all responsible,
and they have to take the reaction of animal killing.
and they have to take the reaction of animal killing.
Maybe that someone who is selling meat or selling hamburgers or something,
Maybe that's someone who is selling meat or selling hamburgers or something,
selling chicken pieces,
selling chicken pieces,
and they have to take birth as an animal or chicken to be slaughtered birth after birth.
then they have to take birth as an animal or chicken and be slaughtered birth after birth.
So we should be very careful not to eat beef, meat, fish, egg.
So we have to be very careful and not eat these meat, fish, eggs.
We want to be free of this bad karma.
If we want to be free of this bad karma,
How not only, but not only compassion on the animals, but also on the hunter.
how Narada Muni was not only compassionate unto the animals, but also to the hunter. Thus ends the chapter entitled Narada tells Mrigari to kill animals completely and not leave them half dead, under the section The 61 Explanations of the Atma Rama Verse.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.